Hey you guys, welcome back to Pantry. I'm Alicia if you're new here, and this is the finale video for the October Freezer Challenge. If you are new here or new to the October Freezer Challenge, it's something I do for myself every year. I just started sharing it on YouTube last year, so this is the second year I've shared it, and everyone's welcome to join me. But my point is to make room in my deep freezer for some holiday baking that I want to freeze ahead of time and for some freezer meals for the busy holiday season. And so I have a goal of using at least one thing from my freezer every day so that by the end of October, there's a deficit of 31 things, which includes the hardest part for me, not putting things in the freezer. And if I do, I have to take that out of my calculations. I will link the playlist for the whole October Freezer Challenge if you want to see the previous weeks and what I did for those weeks. But this is the end. This is the week 4. And days 23 to 31 are what we're covering today. And then we will do some grand total numbers at the end. So day 3, I took out a little roast, a package of cooked roast and a package of cooked rice for my daughter's lunch for a couple days. I think I talked about that rice back during the Every Bit Counts challenge, where I was trying to make my own little baggies, almost like those 90-second Uncle Ben's rices. And my daughter and I both really love roast, and so sometimes I'll make one that we just have for lunches for a few days. And I froze some last time I did that in individual things so that she and I could both just take one out if we wanted roast that day. So I took 2 items on day 23, that one of those packages of rice and one package of roast. They were individual size, so they weren't large, but it was still 2 items for that day. By the way, I don't think I mentioned that we ended last week with negative 28 items. So last week was when I accidentally put things in the freezer, which you guys were so nice about. So after day 23, I did the roast and the rice. Day 24, I just took out a large package of chicken breasts for dinner that night. I thawed them and I just used a Lowry's marinade. It was a hickory brown sugar marinade. It was way spicier than we expected. And I just baked that and I served that with roasted potatoes and salad. So that was one item for day 25. Day 26, I took out 2 more packages of bones to make beef bone broth. If you are not aware of the bones I'm talking about, I addressed it in the last video. I had a friend give me some good quality grass-fed beef bones for making beef broth, which I was completely out of, but I took a ton from her. So I'm slowly working down. I tried to use those all up this week and I didn't get to all of them, but I did get a lot done. So I did 2 packages, and from those 2 packages, I made, I wrote it down, 6 quart jars and 2 half-pint jars of the beef bone broth on that day. The next day, day 26, I took out 2 more packages of beef bone broth, and that got me 6 quarts. I don't know why one day got me pretty much 7 quarts and one got me 6. It just is the nature of it sometimes. So that was 4 packages of bones I got used up this week. Also on day 26, besides the bone broth though, I did get, I had mentioned in the previous video that I thought I spied a Ziploc bag of oatmeal chocolate chip cookies in there. Those are my favorite cookies, and sometimes when I'm craving them, I will make a batch, but I don't want them just sitting around because I will eat them. So I will eat a few and I will freeze the rest, and then when I want some cookies, I don't have to make them again. I can pull a few out. So I pulled out that bag. There were only 3 cookies in it, and so I let myself enjoy them. Day 27, I pulled out 3 bags of sliced strawberries and put them in the freeze dryer. These were a mix. So 2 of the bags were from the grocery store. I'll pick them up when the frozen fruit is on sale. If I buy them frozen and sliced already, it saves me a step when I'm putting in the freeze dryer. I also had a large gallon bag from our strawberries. They were either our strawberries or when I bought some from the neighbors for their football fundraiser. And I sliced them and froze them for when I had time to freeze dry those. So I had 4 full trays of sliced strawberries in the freeze dryer, and those are my middle daughter loves freeze dried apple slices, and my youngest daughter loves freeze dried strawberry slices. So I try to keep those on hand just for a healthy snack. That was 3 items, so that was 3 bags. I was digging around looking for all the strawberries in there. Day 28, I took out a package of noodles for chicken noodle soup. My daughter and husband were sick. And my husband doesn't like soup at all, but my kids love chicken noodle soup when they're sick, especially when they're sick. And so I had a package. When I make my homemade chicken noodle soup, which I think I have a recipe I can link for you down in the description box. It's in my cookbook if you have that, which is always linked below. But when I make it, I use like frozen home style noodles so that they're like homemade noodles, only better than I can make them. And it's not hard to make a good chicken noodle soup from scratch. And I only use, when I buy the pack, it's a pretty big package. And so I only use about half a package when I make noodles. So I had a partial package still in there, and that's what I took out for the chicken noodle soup. Day 29, I took out 3 things. I went in and took out a zucchini bread, and I was shutting the door. It was a pre-made one. When I make my favorite chocolate zucchini bread, it makes a double recipe. It makes 2 loaves, and so I'll make it to eat and I'll freeze one for next time. And so I had one in there frozen. I took that out, and as I was closing the door, because I was like, this will be my item of the day, I actually plan on it being the next day because it needed to thaw. I remember that I had that frozen pizza from my Azure haul in there, that gluten-free one I wanted to try, and I decided to have that for lunch that day. That was pretty good. I did feel like it needed a sprinkle of salt on it, but the crust for being a gluten-free pizza was really good. So that was 2 items, and then I noticed as I was closing the door again, I was like this that day, like, what's that? I took out a package of breakfast burritos. Again, my husband's been enjoying those for breakfast in the morning, so I had a package of sausage, egg, cheese, and paprika potatoes that there was 3 of them left in that bag, so I took that bag out. So that was 3 items on day 29. Day 30, I took out 1 package of mild Italian sausage to make a Tuscan soup. I made that in the crock pot. I made a video about that for Crocktober. I can link that for you. Really good, and I made that for the purpose of being my lunch for a few days. That's what I'm having as soon as I'm done recording this. And then day 31 yesterday was I took out 5 packages of shredded zucchini. I'm gonna pull out some zucchinis. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna pull out all 4 because I know that I have more down here somewhere. And I will leave the others that I can't find right now for zucchini bread this winter. And I'm gonna pull out these and put them in the freeze dryer. I went to move the burgers to get back those, and I found another one, so I'm pulling out 5. So every summer when I grow zucchini in the garden, we don't eat a whole lot of it, although I did discover a better way to make zucchini chips this year. But what I end up doing is shredding it in my food processor and putting it in baggies with like 3 or 4 cups in there, because each package can just be 1 recipe for zucchini bread in the winter. But I did not realize, I made a mistake this year, and some that I had done was hiding in the freezer. So I thought I didn't have any, and so I kept shredding and freezing more. And so I ended up with a ton of shredded zucchini in the freezer. And we don't eat zucchini bread that often, like 3 or 4 times in the winter is enough for us. So I had like a bazillion packages, okay, more like 8 or 10. I've used some before, but what I decided to try, for like 10 years, I've been wanting to try the whole zucchini flour thing. So I decided to freeze dry some zucchini and make zucchini flour. That is still in the freeze dryer. I did have to partially thaw it because it was too thick. When it goes in the freeze dryer on the tray, you don't want it touching the bottom side of the tray above it. It can actually cause it to burn. So I needed to partially thaw it to break it up, but I still put it in the freeze dryer, still mostly like at least half frozen. So that's still in there. It'll be done in a few hours. So that was 5 packages of zucchini, if I didn't say that. So let's talk numbers. This week I did not put anything in. I will be going shopping soon though. So that means that everything I did this week was in the negative. And so I actually used 20 items this week. I was trying to use a lot more by the end of the month. So I did 20. I'm negative 20 for this week alone. That's awesome. I didn't put anything in, so it was a big win. That puts my total for this month. We ended last month at a negative 23 items. For this month, I've used 48 items from the deep freezer, and that is calculated taking into consideration that I put in beef bones for broth. And that takes away from my total. So that is, that's cool to me. I think my goal was 31, obviously. I think this is my best year yet. I really do. I wanted to reorganize, I wanted to reorganize the freezer because it's a lot easier to do when there's less in it, right? I did not get that done yet. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. Hopefully, I do want to get it done soon though, before I let time get away from me and don't get it done. But I did try to get a shot afterwards because I know some of you wanted to see the before and after of the full and the less full. And I will be shopping soon. And I know that I'm gonna be getting some things that I typically store in the freezer. Like I'm gonna go to Costco and stock up on chocolate chips for the holiday baking. And I keep my chocolate chips in the freezer, especially those big bags, stuff like that. So I'm trying to reorganize it before I go shopping. I did decide that I am going to go ahead and try to keep using some stuff up. Not going to record it. We'll see. I just felt like I was just now getting into some of those corners where little things were hiding here and there. And I really did want to get more of that done. And some of that I will encounter and better deal with when I reorganize the freezer now that I have space to do that. But I also just wanted to keep going through especially some of the things that I know have been in there for a really long time that I still didn't get to during this past month. So, because it sounds like 31 items is a lot to use, but it's really not. It's like one thing a day. It's really not a lot. So the challenge is over, but I do want to use up a bit more but I needed to be able to put stuff in now. Like I've been passing up some things and waiting on buying some things that need to go there so that I could use stuff up and make room. So I was thinking about doing another update in like a week of how it looks, reorganized, maybe a few more things gone. I don't know. Let me know if you'd be interested in like a 1 week or 2 week post challenge video or something. I don't know. It would be really short. Maybe I should make a short with it. I've never made a short on YouTube. We'll see. Let me know in the comments if that's something you want to see. Anyways, I would call this year's October freezer challenge a big success for me. I feel good about it. Even though there's still stuff I want to get to, I feel good about it. Let me know how you did. I know some of you were joining in. Let me know how it went for you. Some of you were deciding to do it over the next couple months. I would love to know as you go. Come back and let me know how it's going for you. One of you was doing an opposite thing of stocking your freezer because there is that whole Stocktober thing going on. So whatever your goal was for October or for your freezer, let me know how it's been going for you. Thank you guys for joining me and spending your precious moments with me. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day, and I hope you'll come back for future videos.